No. No, you gannet. No. This is mine. You've had your breakfast. I'm giving you treats. I'll tell you what, yeah, one more. All right. And it's only because you're cute. Come on, get up on your bed. Come on. Come on. Morning, folks. I hope you're smiling. And I hope you're happy. I can see someone's after something here. God, I love it. Not you can see much from that, but there we go. Homemade bread and homemade jam. No, that's not necessarily an off-grid thing, but for me, yes, it is. Because all the time I was living in the more convenient world north of the gate. Oh, that tastes nice. It was very easy for me to just go in the shop, buy the bread, buy the jam. For not a lot of effort, to be able to eat fresh bread, it throws it, just all that shop bought stuff, that's just knocked into the ballpark. You don't need it anymore. And it's not, just doesn't seem to be as tasty, for a better choice of words. And due to having to need to cut down on bread intake, etc. For me, I will now only eat homemade bread if I've made it. So if I haven't made any bread, I don't eat any bread. Is to get the bread down in my diet to help with the weight loss and the heart. Now here we go with my morning coffee. Thank you very much. And a little bit of a snack, especially with the jam because of the sugar, the energy, because I'd been out and there were three. One was very wispy, so there's no logs from it. Trees that had come down into what's called the middle field, which is the next door neighbour's farmer's field. And as I've explained in a previous video, I've said I had to be dry. Well, it had to be because I would never have got in and out with the Land Rover. So I went out yesterday afternoon and cut everything up into manageable lengths. So I'll show you in a little bit. And obviously with the Land Rover, yeah, all down the farm tracks, across the field, down the slope, and typical with the Land Rover and the four-wheel drive system, it just done it with ease. One of the reasons why I love my Land Rover, one of the many, many, many reasons why I couldn't, let's say I could survive here without it. I will correct myself, but it makes my survival thriving because that thing just goes anywhere and everywhere I need it to, so long as you're sensible. But yeah, I do. I love my Land Rover. She's old. She's 24 years old. So she's been around the block a bit, but she's strong, she's sturdy, she's reliable. They're nothing fancy. It don't get, well, it doesn't go exactly fast, but it's dependable, reliable, and extremely usable. But I'm going to finish this off and then I'll show you, yeah, what I pulled out and the process of now dealing with those logs, along with other bits and pieces. So we'll catch you in a minute after I've had my homemade bread and my homemade jam. See you in a minute. And there we go, folks. Let me just put this up here somewhere. Oil and petrol for the chainsaw. The few bits of this have got to be cut into loggable lengths. Some of it is in loggable lengths. This was actually full, but I dropped a load up at the farm. The gift, neighbourly gesture. You know, we're all around in these rural parts and around here. There is a tendency where, yeah, we all kind of loosely look out for each other and help each other as and when needed. But these are the logs. I'm just going to throw down here for now. So some of them, this front pack, yeah, they just need an axe. One out of the way, Ava, please. Come on, good girl. And these need to be just, Ava, out the way, please. Thank you. These ones will be splitting, and the others, yeah, get a chainsaw through them into loggable lumps. Oh, that was nearly an error. Would have made good viewing, wouldn't it? But and then we have, oh, they're not ready to come out yet. But what I have here, apart from a very heavy piece of wood, I would say that this will last me about a month in the winter, I'd guess. Maybe a little bit longer. So for what was a couple of hours work yesterday, and well, I'm not going to bust me back doing this, so we will say I shall probably a couple of mornings, gentle. So at a gentle pace, I'm going to be doing, I suppose, what's in the normal world, a day's work. That day's work is going to keep me warm and fed in the winter, because obviously when I've got the log burner going, I cook on the log burner. All those wonderful hearty stews with the produce from my garden, the onions and the potatoes and the garlic, it's all homegrown. No, that's not off grid either. But to survive in this modern world, because the cost of everything's going through the roof. You know, I mean, even vegetables aren't cheap anymore. So the more, you know, if you do have a little area of garden, instead of planting flowers, plant things you can eat. Same amount of effort, better reward. To me, that's not rocket science. And you know, and I just think to myself, something that it will have, in all honesty, living this alternative way that I do. I mean, bear in mind, I lived 13 years in motorhomes and campers. So, as previously explained, yes, I've always been aware that I have limited supplies of gas, water, blah, blah. But I always had the convenience, as I do now, of going to a shop and buying every item of food I wish to eat. Living alternatively in the off-grid world like I am now, with land, etc., the desire to grow as much of my own produce as possible. This year, a little bit of an exception because it was a very late start to the season, and as you know, I have problems here, so that wasn't a priority so much this year. But I'm prepping for next year. These logs aren't this year's logs. These logs are next winter's, not this winter coming, next winter's logs, and possibly beyond. I mean, these will be 18 months, coming up for the 2-year mark when I get to actually use them. But from now, definitely 18 months, which is a good, it's good to burn. You know, I'm prepping now. This is July. This is the summertime, and I'm prepping for winter next year. And in the process of preparing for the next season, the next year, and subsequent years, the desire to that saves me time. What I'm doing now is for next winter, and I maintain that throughout the year, keep getting the logs. And I spent years getting a few extra, so that I've got the 2-year cycle. It doesn't happen overnight. If you were maybe younger, fitter, had more people to help you, yes, you could buy a bit of land. Yes, you could get all the trees down. Yes, you could cut 2 years worth of logs in a month or two, no problem. You still got to wait 2 years if you're going to do naturally seasoned. So it's just been a process. Everything in my alternative way, it is a process, and instead of thinking about tomorrow or next week or even next month, I'm always thinking about next year and potentially the year after, to try and be as far ahead of myself as I can at all times, so that no task of, oh bugger, I have no logs, and then all of a sudden I've got to spend weeks logging. Well, that can be an overwhelming concept. Just do a little bit. There's no rush to do all of this in such a hurry. But then I kind of get enthusiastic. So, but yeah, and I mean, this for me is what is being going to be split today, tomorrow. That is not going to be burned. The first log of this will be at least 18 months. And the tree, one of them has been down and obviously was a dying stroke dead tree anyway, because I could tell by the way it was cut when I was cutting it, should I say. So that'll be a little bit, but 18 months, it's good. As long as the log's been dry for 18 months, I mean, that's pretty damn good. But these ones, yeah, this is preparing for 18 months. So anyway, I'm going to crack on, get that lot out of there and start processing the logs and stacking them. Anyway, we'll catch you in a little bit, guys. How we doing, people? As you can see, a little bit of wet stuff, moist from it laying in the field. This is the last of the logs you saw in the back of the Land Rover. They're split, and this is the last of them to be stacked for now. A few more than I expected actually out of this. I'm not going to complain, but that for me is, come on, stack up a little bit better than that, boys and girls. That for me will be enough of what I call manual labour for today. Probably all in all about 2.5 hours, I suppose, of what I would call physical work. I think how much money you would have spent if you'd have gone to a gym. Hey, that was free. Just good old-fashioned blood, sweat and tears, and yeah, it did make me sweat and all. But as you can see now, if I'm blocking that one, once that one's full there, which won't take long now, but I've done a little bit of tidying housework, because that one, well, there were some gaps, so I kind of just stacked everything up, tightened it up, and behind me, in the empty one there, was some of the ready to burn, once dried, for logs that were laying out over on the other side. That on the previous video you see me walking them back, cutting them up. So I basically moved them from there into that one and made sure that my log stack in the hut is full, and a little pile I always have outside as well. So I am, on the hut side of life, fully stacked up everywhere now apart from that little bit and that one. So I've created myself more work, but you gotta admit, it does look good, doesn't it? But there we go. That saves me having to go to a gym. I know that it's going to keep me warm, and also it's going to feed me, because as I said earlier, I use the log burner, plus I use the fire pit, etc., to cook food. I found a fire pit, really roast a chicken on the fire pit really well. I'll have to do a video on that one day for you. But yeah, so that side of life, as you can see there, is close to it. That was what was in this pile. There was, because this is three stacks deep, and it was about there, so there was about half a stack in there. So I've now done almost two stacks, and that was in just about half a carload. I know there's down on another track on the outside of my property, there's one I've already cut down, and there's two others that need to be taken out of the equation, because they're going to be dangerous this winter if the weather gets up and the wind gets up. So that will be more than enough to fill that one. So that is me almost up to speed with the logs, a little bit done, but it won't take long. It won't take long. So that's me for what I do. Is I tend to, as I'm getting there, my health has made me realise I need to. So I've been a little more strict with myself. Is to do the physically demanding work in the mornings, get the bulk of that done. I mean, before I started splitting and finishing cutting and moving the logs up here, yeah, I got my laundry done, done my logging. I've got some strimming to do this afternoon. I've got also a part on the strimmer first, but that's, that's it. That's quite easy. But then I'm going to go and treat myself to a nice bit of lunch, and I'll tell you what, let me take it down now, and then you'll see what I'm going to have for lunch. And for lunch, we are going to have freshly picked raspberries. Got my little shopping basket, and we're going to have to be a bit careful, because I think you've seen that my Ava, well, and Nugget, the terrorist, they like to help themselves to my bloody raspberries. They're like, no, they're my raspberries. So we'll pick a few that are ready. We have some really, really ripe ones here, almost too ripe. That'd be quite sweet, they will. And I think that's going to be enough of the raspberries. Oh no, there's one there that's ready. And then we'll have a quick look along on the tayberries. As explained before, they're not very good this year. The actual fruit size is very small, considering, which is a shame, because I don't know if you guys have ever had tayberries in the past, but I need to get the weeds out of here and all. A bit of weeding this evening. That's my sort of late afternoon, early evening jobs, that is. Is to, no, not quite ready. I know what that one is. And so is that one. I do apologise for coming backwards and forwards. I've missed some. And then we go on up to, oh, I'll tell you what, let me come and bring you up here, because my black currants this year, they've actually done quite well, considering. I don't know if you'll be able to see from this or not. We'll try. Let me just put you down there and zoom up a little bit. But can you see those? Look at that. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Work of art that was, wasn't it? Come on. No, it doesn't want to play now. Let's try that. Oh, no. Oh well, I'll hold you in my hand. No, I won't. You're still there. Right. Come on, let's put you back. A little bit of an error on my part, but we're getting there. Got to have a few calamities, haven't you? But yeah, these, oh, look at these. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful. And this, lovely people, and this isn't off grid either, because you can do this sort of thing at home in your own gardens. Don't plant flowers, plant food. I mean, these bushes are quite pretty regardless of the fruit. When they fruit, they are, oh, there's some lovely ones in the back here. Got to get those ones. One for the ground, because that one's no good. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Freshly picked fruit from my garden. And if you do have a garden, you can pick your own fruit too. All you got to do is plant the fruits, look after them, just in a garden. I mean, here, let's bring you around to this bit here, and there's not many left on this one because the birds have seen or got the better of these. But these are my red currants. Oh, that sharpness. Oh yes, that sharpness on the tongue. Beautiful. And we've got not many more left on there, but they'll go in there. And that's me more or less done with the red colours. I ain't going to get many more this year, but we have a little foreign body in there we don't want. But there, okay, it's not a lot, and it's not. on the grand scheme of things. But this has been supplying me on a reasonably regular basis. Excuse the laundry. It's been supplying me on a reasonably regular basis, and I'm having freshly picked fruit, of which what I will do for my lunch is I'm going to make some pancakes, put them in pancakes, maybe have a little bit of Greek yogurt on there, or I'll have a little bit of honey, a bit of maple syrup, just a little bit of extra sweetness. All relatively healthy foods and homemade. What more do you want? That's, yeah, off-grid life for you, definitely. But you can, even if you are living in a normal environment and you do have access to an allotment or you have a garden, you can make a little bit of a difference. I mean, that fruit would have cost me probably £1 if I'd have bought it from a shop, maybe £1.50. But bear in mind, that's been feeding me on a regular basis. So you start adding them up, I saved a few quid. And you just know it tastes better. Homegrown, naturally grown produce, oh, it's the best. It really is. I mean, these raspberries, they are, they're a little sweeter, which makes them that much nicer. Anyway, folks, that's enough of me whittering on. I've got lunch to go and have, and it's going to be a healthy lunch for me. Right, you take care, people, and we will see you soon. Remember, chicken up in the corner. Thank you, everybody, and I do genuinely mean from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all of those of you who have and those of you who are thinking. It is very much appreciated. But anyway, that's enough from me for now. See you next time, folks. Ta-da.